What is going on, gamers? Today I'm going to be talking about public order since the game doesn't do a good job at telling you what it is. Public order is one of the more complicated mechanics of the game, so by explaining the effects of public order, it'll make it a little bit easier to understand. To start things off, I have my armies ready to attack Genua here, or the Lugaria faction, so that's what I'm going to do right now. You have 3 options to choose here. There's actually, could be 4 if this was their only settlement, but we have the occupy option, we have the loot option, and we have the raise option. So, to go through them, occupying is the least impactful option because of the conquest and the province instability. The conquest is only -20, when you loot it, it is -35, and when you raise it, it's -40. So it is in your benefit to have the occupy option, especially on legendary. The barbarians actually have the sack option, which allows you to take all of the money away from the settlement and you don't even keep it, so that means the enemy has to actually deal with the public order losses. We are going to occupy the settlement right now, and when we click on our settlement, we're going to go over to the public order details in the bottom left. As you can see, there is a massive list of things here, and this is where things get complicated, but I'm going to go over it and explain everything so that way you know what you're looking at here. On the top of the list, you can see current and change per turn. When you first take a settlement in a province, it'll immediately go to 0, and then the change per turn is contributing factors for the next turn. Buildings are currently +3, so the minor settlement building is giving a +3 bonus to happiness. Different buildings like temples can also increase this further. Characters are currently +5. Some examples for characters would be a faction leader or agents. Events are currently -3 due to winter. Things like seasons, political actions, and edicts would change this amount. Cultural differences is -17 since we are Latin and we took a settlement from a Celtic faction. Temples and dignitaries will reduce this over time to 0. Taxes are by default -5 and can either be reduced or increased based on your current tax level. Slaves are -2 due to occupying the settlement we captured. Depending on the option you choose while taking the settlement, this number will be reduced or increased. If you loot a settlement, there will be more slaves, and if you raise a settlement, you will kill all the slaves but get a devastation penalty. Devastation is based on the amount of buildings that are damaged. In this case, we have 2 buildings that are damaged, so devastation is -2. Simply by repairing or removing the building will remove the devastation. Provincial instability is -15 since we captured a settlement, and along with it comes the conquest. As stated earlier in the video, depending on which option you choose when capturing the settlement will change the conquest amount. Here's where a lot of people get confused by these. Let's say if you were to end the turn, the conquest penalty will be removed and the provincial instability will be reduced to -14 or -1 per turn. However, if you were to take another settlement the following turn within the same province, the provincial instability will be reset to -15. Also to keep in mind, by taking another settlement within the same province in the same turn will stack the conquest amount. So if you occupy 2 settlements in the same turn, the conquest amount would be -40 instead of -20. Faction is a mechanic in the game to help you reduce the chances of rebellions. This bonus will change depending on the state of the game or the faction you choose. Military presence is currently 24. The reason for that is because if you have 20 units in an army and they are positioned within a settlement, that will give you +20 to public order, and any armies around the general area will also increase this slightly. Finally, on the bottom, it will tell you how many turns it would take for a rebellion to occur. In this case, it would be 5 turns. On Legendary, it is so important to capture full provinces instead of having a bunch of scattered settlements because it is way harder to control public order. As you take provinces, you can move your edicts to help maintain public order as well. Now, you can call me crazy, but sometimes it is beneficial to let rebellions happen or for you to help speed them up to help maintain public order. If you're extra lucky, your neighboring factions will straight up just trespass through you to attack the rebellion, doing most of the work for you anyways. Alright gamers, that covers public order. Hopefully you found this helpful since the game has way too many mechanics to explain. Legendary is hard for a reason, so make sure you think about your decisions rather than just yeeting and hoping for the best.